Saturday, downtown Denville. Packed parking with everyone getting all those weekend errands done. Or simply just out enjoying some downtime with friends and family. Whatever those needs are, there are certainly some great businesses here to call upon. They cater to everything and everyone. There are ones we rely on for our maintenance supply needs, and then there are those we rely on for our weekend supply needs. The types that offer up a sweet diversions of the day. The classic staples that feel as if they've been here forever. Those delicious ones that have our favorites on hand. And of course, those new kids on the block with menus we're just dying to explore. Stores for those who collect, while others are fun places to shop with a friendly smile. Yes, Denville truly has them all. These businesses serve our community well. We come to rely on and frequent them often. But not far from these great businesses is one that's very unique and original. It's a bit off the beaten path, but it's certainly worth a visit. Just a few blocks over that way. Over on Pocono Road, just down from St. Clair's Hospital, you'll find what was an old brick dairy barn. This large, grand structure now houses one of the most unique used bookstores and thrift shops in Morris County, where volunteers turn goods into gold, and all in the name of charity. In this edition of Denville Community Media, we're going to take one from the shelf and tell the story of the Denville Book Barn. It's another typical winter day here in New Jersey. Just perfect time to huddle down with a cup of coffee and a good book. I'm outside the Thrift Barns of Morris County, affectionately known to the locals as the Book Barn. This place has a great reputation and a wonderful history that goes along with some very cool items they sell here. So let's go inside, take a look. Nice and warm in here. And upon entering, you'll notice a few things. A quaint and simple display of items marking whatever holiday is coming up on the calendar. It's created with a lot of time and care with some donated items. Next, rows and rows and rows of books. About 250,000 of them. They have books about every possible subject. This isn't a Barnes & Noble, that's for sure. Here at the Book Barn, they not only have books about cats, but there is also even a shelf for cat stories. Really? There is a subject? Books as far as the eye can see. They have a large selection of children's books located in their own section up front. Looking for some music to accompany that book you bought? Well, if you still have your CD player working, you can find a good variety of used CDs to choose from. Or browse through a vast selection of DVD movies or two to watch on these cold winter nights. And for you collectors of vinyl records, yes, they even have a selection of those. Hey, I got that one. There are puzzles and games in one room, and in another room just filled with Christmas decorations that harken back to holidays of old.
It's pretty amazing and sometimes overwhelming at the same time. The Book Barn seems to be endless with row after row leading through room after room full of books. Tight cubby holes just packed with awesome treasures to be discovered.
On the other. One of the longtime volunteers working here, Maz Hedford, gladly gave me a tour of the shelves within the Book Barn.
That are famous historically. All manner of early American history, and then one crosses over. And here we have 3 shelves of terrorism, because that's become a contemporary thing. So this room is essentially, we call it the teaching room, but it's for students, all students as well. So, and it goes all the way through AP courses in high school. Literature collections that always seem to be read by kids in high school, middle school, language arts, which we call basically the elementary school for learning to read, learning phonics. And then we have books on vocabulary, books on spelling. Here's our elementary science collection. This is high school AP as well.
The experience of all that dedicated time working here really shines through with pride as she guided me around.
Chicken, seafood, veggies, vegetarian, recipe books for special diets. I always can dream of a new holiday. And so, of course, for right now, this being end of January, coming up February, that would be Valentine's Day, Abraham Lincoln, we had Martin Luther King, and so now we're just kind of honing in on the snow of February, Valentine's Day. And it's a nice thing to do when you come in, because this is our entrance, because people come here and it just brightens them, brightens their spirit, and then they can go on their big adventures down the aisles. And it sets them thinking, oh, if it's February, maybe I can find something for someone related, to the holiday celebration and gift giving. So it serves a lot of purposes, and also I enjoy doing it. It's fun.
But it's not only books you can discover here. Connected right alongside to this is the Bargain Barn, which also sells a variety of awesome donated goods.
So
Annie
this is
Schlussler, another one of the Thrift Barn volunteers, extended me the offer to explore the contents of the Bargain Barn.
There's pants, dresses, jeans, shoes, shirts, slacks, I love that word, and there's designer clothing as well. We also have linens and purses, accessories, and then back over here, there's all sorts of linens for the home. So curtains, placemats, napkins, tablecloths. We should really bring back tablecloths, by the way. Some children's clothing, outerwear, even prom dresses. Through here, there's some shoes, more clothing, hats, umbrellas, belts. It goes on and on, but we're not done. Over here we sell the jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, etc. And spotted throughout this entire area are the tchotchkes. There's all sorts of beautiful items that come in, and it is nice that our customers think of us when they're looking to downsize. Our manager, George, would like everybody to know our jewelry is half price. We get lots of pictures, so the pictures are just about everywhere here. Is a little room with sewing and crafts. So if you are looking for, fabrics and yarns and knitting implements, they're all in here. So over here is the men's room. We have jackets and suits and shirts and slacks, shoes, and everything for men. Even some beautiful beer steins. So this picture up here is one of our volunteers who passed away a number of years ago, but her name is Hanning Ann, and she was quite a character. I never met her, but the legend was that during the Harvest Festival, she would have a fashion show where she would take items from the Bargain Barn and have a little fashion show. So I absolutely love that this picture is in here in the men's room, and she is fashioned in that picture. So one of my favorites here at the Bargain Barn. And this is our boutique room. We have some Lenox and some lead crystal items and some really beautiful items that, again, all of these items are donated. This is the main kitchen wares, home wares area. So these items are wonderfully priced. Again, everything donated, and it's something great for people starting out. I know during COVID, somebody asked for if we had any plates. We were doing some curbside sales, and somebody's son was getting married. They had to do a very tiny backyard wedding, and she asked if we had any china. We just got it in. We had just put it out, and she bought it, and we wrapped it all up, and they were able to use some of these this older china and give their son a memorable wedding during COVID. During Christmas, we call this the South Pole Christmas room. We have the sort of the finer Christmas items. When it's not Christmas, we switch it out for other items. We have an array of lamps, and currently on display are a bunch of beautiful china and table settings.
Wow, they seem to sell just about everything here at the Bargain Barn. There you go, just what I need for my collection. Just about all kinds of odds and ends. Enough to furnish a house if need be. They sell everything here but the kitchen sink. Wait, they sell that too, I think. George is the current manager of the Bargain Barn, who works tirelessly to make sure it all works well.
The previous manager, she moved away, and we needed a manager for this place. So I said to Lenny, I said, well, make me manager. I will manage this place. And that's how it came to be. Normally, we're open here 4 days. Normally, I will come in after a different day, or Monday or Friday, just to get things organized again for the opening day the next day. And basically, that's it.
Once a dairy farm that supplied dairy products to both St. Francis and St. Clair's Hospital up till about 1976, the farm had pigs, chickens, orchards, a cow pasture, and including the barn that was built in 1800s. That building is now home to both the Book Barn and the Bargain Barn. In 2015, They became the Thrift Barns of Morris County as a 501c nonprofit volunteer-run organization after St. Clair's Hospital and the farm were sold.
The amazing aspect here is that everything you see inside both the book barn and the bargain barn is locally donated goods, and that are resold and benefit local charities. In a sense, it's our community donating and giving back to itself. This place is staffed with volunteers who donate their time as well. It's a total win-win combination. This is what makes this place so special and so endearing to the Denville community.
Since 2015, over $1,350,000 have been received by local organizations that have been benefactors of the efforts of the Thrift Barns in Morris County. The list of charities is both amazing and heartwarming to hear. The barn achieved so much and still continues to do so. Leonard Lenny DeMena and his volunteers have been the driving force behind this wonderful success story. Lenny, a 40-year resident of Denville, was the president of the Thrift Barns of Morris County from 2015 until his passing in 2022. In 2021, Ruth Gimbel had a chance to interview Lenny DeMena, who talks briefly about the success of the Thrift Barns of Morris County he ran so diligently.
I've been with the bargain barn since 2004. We were part of St. Clair's Hospital, part of the foundation. St. Clair's was sold for profit. We couldn't support a for-profit organization, so we went out on our own. We are a non-profit 501c. All of our money goes to charity. We are run by all volunteers. We have about 38 volunteers. We are always looking for more volunteers. If anybody wants to sign up, we have the Thrift Barn and the Book Barn, so you can run either side. We get tons of donations, and we don't have enough volunteers to deal with it all. So sometimes it becomes challenging, but we manage. And I appreciate everything the volunteers do, but more so the people of Denville that support us. I should mention the building is owned by the Oaks of Denville across the street, and they support us by giving us a liberal rent. Another one of my good volunteers. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is our happy place.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
So it's an amazing operation that seems to grow year after year. So I gotta know, how did it all begin?
Many decades ago, when we were still doing Harvest Festival, we had in this barn books that we would sell in the summertime, the volunteers who worked for the Harvest Festival. And then someone came up with the idea that rather than shut the barn down during the year, we should sell the books. And that's exactly what we did. So on Saturdays, because we were all working at regular jobs during the week, we would come in on Saturday mornings, and just a very small section here was our book barn. And we didn't have cash registers, we didn't have heat, we had nothing. So when the weather got really cold, we just shut down for 3 months. So that was a very long time ago. Pat Clacker was our boss, sadly departed since, and then we came to enlarge not only what we were selling, but how many people worked in the facility here, so that it became, well, safer, warmer. And that's really how it went along.
Well, as you could tell, Lenny took a lot of pride in his efforts here as a volunteer, and that pride carries over to those who worked with him to make the Thrift Barns what they are today.
I had a chance to talk with a number of the volunteers of the Thrift Barn about what they consider to be the best part of donating all that time and effort to such a great cause as this.
Making people happy means the most to me. Of course, inside I know every penny goes to charity, and I don't hesitate to keep saying that to our customers, just to remind them that every purchase they make goes for a good cause. But what means the most to me is I'm happy when people are happy, and when they find a book that they really like, or something they've been looking for, or even if they find treasure, which is something they weren't looking for, and they find it in here, that is really important to me, and it makes me happy. We have such amazing people that come in here, and it's really fun to interact with them.
I have been blown away with the power of volunteerism, not only in Thrift Barns, but in the community at large. I can't get over the fact that there are people who come in here and give of their time, of their energy, of themselves. I mean, this is a lot of mental work to get stuff that comes in. You don't know what's going to come into a box, and folks pick up this box, and it's like, it must be like Christmas every time when they open it. And between the work of the volunteers and the donations that come in, and the people who shop here, I mean, it is an amazing cycle. And as I said, it extends out to Denville in general, where my husband sits in social services. People give themselves sometimes once a year, sometimes weekly. I am floored by it.
My best thing that I have here, my best experiences in here are the people. There's a great admiration for each of our jobs and so forth, and how we interact with each other. We're like one family. That's the best thing that I like about being here in the Book Barn. We are part of the Denville community. We've been so for a long time. The incorporation of the Thrift Barns in Morris County was in 2016. But the Book Barn goes way past that and have helped a lot of people. That's what I like about what we do. We help the people in our community. That's number one. And number two, we resell the books so they don't end up in a landfill someplace. And that helps the environment too.
Well, I would say it was a toss-up between the people that come in, because it's so much fun to watch the reaction in here. Inevitably, the first word out of their mouth on a tour here is, wow. They simply can't believe it, the plethora of goodies here. And that's fun to see. And it's fun to see them always come back. Just like the Cheers TV show, and everybody knows your name. That happens here inevitably, because we really have a going base, like a family. Feels the same for the volunteers. And the other thing I love about working here is I was a high school English teacher, so to be breathing in books, you know, whenever I am here, to discover books whenever I am here is just a gift. Christmas, every time I come in.
You must admit, it sounds like volunteering at the Thrift Barn could be both fun and hard work. Which makes me have to ponder the question, how do you become a volunteer in such a wonderful and giving endeavor like this? How did a nice girl like you get in a place like this?
We had just moved to Denville, and my husband had just gotten a job at at Denville Town Hall as the social services coordinator. And we had the Harvest Festival, which we used to have in the back here. And we're walking around. He said, "Oh, Stephen, you have to check out the Book Barn." It turns out that he's also a New York Times best-selling author. And so he loves books and everything. And he walked in and he said, he's introducing himself, just got the job, and he said, "Oh, hey, I'm Stephen, I'm with social services." And they said, "We have been trying to reach you. So we have a check for you," they said. So he called them up later that week, and it turns out there was a $50,000 check that Book Barn had for Thrift, that Thrift Barns had for social services. And his boss didn't believe him. He said it must have been $5,000. And Lenny came in, brought the check, and Stephen went down to his boss and said $50,000. So that was the first check that social services would receive from Thrift Barns. As a thank you, Stephen's all he could do, this was such a huge windfall for social services, all he could do was say, "I'll have a book signing." So he had his little booth as we do here, and I said, "Well, how can we advertise this? What's your Facebook page?" And I was talking with Maz, and Maz goes, "We don't have Facebook, we don't have anything like that, but you can do it." So that's how I ended up being part of this organization, and I'll tell you, it turned into something beyond anything I can imagine.
I've been a volunteer now here for about over 3 years. I came to the Book Barn because one of my doctors had an office right next door here. I have an interest in books and literature in any of the current medias and whatever. I noticed this building and I wanted to always look inside. And one time I did, and when I walked through the door, I was struck about the massive amount of books and other media that were here at the Book Barn. I fell in love with the place. Next time I came, I asked for a volunteer form. Lenny gave me the volunteer form, and he instructed me on what stuff had to be done, and I did that. And I'm here ever since now.
Wow, what a great place to work. As the Thrift Barns began to grow over the years, you know these volunteers must have some great memories and awesome stories to tell. Oh, wow. I've been looking for this.
When I first started here, I worked in the Book Barn. And Lenny and I mostly put up all the shelves in the Book Barn, but we had a lot of fun doing it. But, Lenny was the best guy I have ever known.
Lenny realized that I'm a sewer, crafter, and he would get a donation of quilt books in, and he would call me at home, leave me a message while I was teaching, and say, "Oh, Janice, I have some quilt books. Would you like to come in and look at them?" And I was so honored that he thought of me and was willing to let me take a look and purchase them, that I began to purchase them. And the calls were coming in more and more frequently. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I would buy all these quilt books. I had no room in my house to keep them. I brought them home and brought them back in the back door. So eventually I had to say, Lenny, I'm recirculating the same books because I keep buying them and redonating them. So we have to have a system where I know, what's really new and what I just brought you last week. So to me, that was really funny. I didn't want to tell him at first. So
about 3 years ago, I coordinated the Christmas for children, the little holiday boutique for kids. It was during COVID, and I know that they were not going to be having the regular school gift bazaar that they have. So I remember from my own childhood going to school, and people had a swap meet. It was like they would bring in their used items. And I had such wonderful memories of going and picking the items And I remember my parents, I think to this day, my dad has the ice blue cufflinks that I got him in the 3rd grade. And they were somebody's, donated items, but I saw my parents cherish these items for so long. And so I looked around and I said, you know what? We have so many little items here, and we could do the same thing, but for children. So in the kids' room, we set up this little shop. It's a lot of work. We set the items for $1. It was probably the most heartwarming, beautiful thing watching kids choose items, and they were totally random, but choosing items. This is for dad, this is for mom, this is for grandma. And they were as bizarre as hillbilly toothbrushes, pink beaded necklace, whatever it is, where a child looks and goes, this is for mom. This year, I think the sweetest one I saw was we put out trophies. Somebody donates trophies. And a little boy comes up and he goes, this is for dad. And I'm gonna get all like emotional here, but giving children the opportunity for $1 to express how they feel about their families and their loved ones is just amazing. And I see a lot of the same faces every year, and it's so wonderful to see that expression of love, and it is my favorite story here.
So many great memories, and most of all involve their friend Lenny DiMenna. It's obvious that both his leadership and creativity is really what made the Thrift Barns the wondrous place it has become.
Lenny, we used to have fun together. When Christmas time came around, he played Santa Claus over there. I played Santa Claus over here, and I walked out in the street and played Santa Claus. And we used to dress up, for Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, all of that stuff. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Well, his horse, his stuffed horse, he would open the barn door, as we called it. There's a door in the children's room. It's a half door. He would open that up. He would hang the horse out, and then I would come home from school on certain days when we were open and say, there's Lenny again. He's got his little horse out. Or if it started to rain, oh my gosh, is he gonna bring that horse in? Because it was plush, it would be soaked. So, there were just little endearing things that would transpire, that would touch our hearts.
He was a guy that was tireless in his dedication to this place and to his volunteers. He didn't talk much about himself. He preferred to listen, so he's a big listener. And I remember him, he tended to sit there in the corner and just kind of like, he had this sense of humor, but he kept it quiet. It was difficult for him to talk a lot. So he did a lot of listening, and he just kept it fun. There were other little things, and that he would just, and again, from dressing up to really making it, I know he had a big heart for children. My daughter was about 2 years old when she started here, and I have so many pictures over the years of him just dressing up as Santa, and every time she'd come in here, he always made a big deal about her coming in, and it wasn't just my child, it was every child. A lot of the items he had, it was just like, this is for the kids, this is for the kids, this is for the kids. There was one time I had to bring my daughter into Book Barn, and he was mailing out envelopes. And she was here hanging out, this place is mostly closed, and he goes, come here, over here. So I was doing my thing, and she was doing something, and when I looked at it, he had her stuffing envelopes. I took a video of this. She's 5 years old, and I can't get her to do anything, but there she was with the very complicated task of stuffing an envelope, folded into the envelope, and it was the sweetest thing. And I was so, I was like, I can't get my daughter to do that, but he can.
Lenny helped me fit into the Book Barn. He gave me some sort of responsibilities, and I ran with that. He was also a person that would dress up a lot in different characters, depending on the holiday, whether it was Christmas or New Year's or Valentine's Day or whatever. So you don't know, or you didn't know, what character you would meet at a special holiday when you came here with Lenny. So.
On February the 8th, what would have been Lenny DiMena's 74th birthday, these volunteers of the Thrift Barn gathered together in remembrance and dedicate a small memorial in Lenny's honor. It's placed upon a simple shelf, not unlike those he volunteered to build and fill with donated books. But with that torch now passed, that same spirit also fills the hearts of others who will continue his work.
Hi, I'm David DiMena. I'm Lenny's son. I'm here to say a few words about him. He was a wonderful man. He meant the world to me and everyone here. And this was probably one of his life's works. This meant so much to him, be able to help guide this place and help set up all the donations and all the good work they did. I know he led it through the split from the hospital into its own independent corporation type deal, and to see that it lives on after he is gone means the absolute world to me.
We're here today on Lenny's birthday to commemorate Lenny's memorial that we have made here at the Book Barn. The Thrift Barns of Morris County have been associated with Denville for a long period of time. The mayor has been very gracious in his time to come and say a couple of words about Lenny and about the impact that the Thrift Barns of Morris County has had in his town and in his area.
It's to the Book Barn, Book and Bargain Barn, board members, volunteers, customers, and the generous people who donate books, clothing, and home goods to this wonderful organization. The origins of the Book and Bargain Barn can be traced back to the Castaway store operated by the Volunteer Auxiliary of Riverside Hospital in Boonton in the early 1950s. This was before the 1970 St. Clair's healthcare system merger, when they moved into the current location at the Dairy Barn right here on Pocono Road. They used the proceeds to support both hospitals. Once Prime Healthcare purchased St. Clair's, a new mission was needed and created. The Book and Bargain Barn president, Lenny DiMena, and his board began donating the barn's proceeds to various charities in the local Morris County area, and it did not take long for their new mission to blossom. In just 5 years, this organization donated over $1 million to organizations such as the Joey Bella Foundation, American Legion, the VFW, the Knights of Columbus, Roots and Wings, the Alzheimer's Association of New Jersey, in addition to other charities. They also donated to the Denville Rotary to help repair Santa Land after it was damaged by a fire. They supported first-time local authors and provided book signings on site, as well as conducted holiday events for children. Since 2015, the Book and Bargain Barn has continued to make significant monetary contributions to Denville Social Services towards the Home Heating and Family Emergency Fund. Switching causes, keeping volunteers motivated, focused, and having fun while raising money is no easy task. Lenny did it, and anyone who knew him knew his secret. He spread the credit, and there was plenty of it to go around. On October 31st, 2022, the Book and Bargain Barn lost their leader, and Denville lost their great friend. I have seen many acts of kindness as they continue to support Lenny's legacy, and I encourage you all to do the same. Nobody can predict the future or what the future has in store for us, but we are thankful for an organization like the Book and Bargain Barn that has done so much good for so many people. May God bless you all. Thomas W. Andes, Mayor of Denville.
Thank you, Mayor.
And we thank you
for
all.
that wonderful letter.
I'm sure that you have certainly known Lenny for a sufficient amount of time to, as you so eloquently said, says the impact that he has had on the town, on the volunteers that work here, and on the people that come here. And not just from Denville, but from so many places. And what a delight, because when you refer to us as an organization, that always sticks in my mind because I consider us a family.
Right.
I know you do.
No, I've worked with him 10 years here, and he was really a great leader and stuff. He had a great sense of humor when he was feeling well, and he always loved to dress up and have a really good time. And he was very considerate of a lot of people and did a wonderful job.
I know that all the good causes that the money that you guys raised went to, right? And especially the Denville Social Services and Joy Bell, right? And you know, I get calls from people who are on the receiving end of it, and I know, you know, especially the whole heating oil and people who can't make ends meet, or through fire, right? So I know that side of it, right? And I always joke about you have the perfect business model. That people donate, right? You guys work for free, right? Right? So I say this to the people of the area, right? You know, don't throw out, bring it here, right? These good folks, and there's many more, right? Right? They'll go through it and they'll sell it. Because people come in, people always looking for a bargain, right? Right? And they'll sell it, and they'll put that money to help people that are in times of need.
The thing I always say about Leonard was he turned people's junk into treasure. All the books that people no longer wanted, clothes they no longer wanted, and he was able to turn that into money, which went to all these various charities, including Denville Social Services. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. And the wonderful thing is that money went to so many good causes. Not only did it help provide food for the food pantry, even when we were in the depth of the pandemic, it was also bought prosthetics for people who've been stricken with cancer. It sent kids to summer recreation programs. The list goes on and on and on. And just, I was told long ago, you never know how you're going to affect someone in life. And the wonderful thing about Lenny is he touched so many people's lives, and we're just beginning to understand the impact that he had.
Well, I think the people that volunteer here are an amazing team. Everybody works together. I've made a lot of friends, and they really are friends because we're all working here for a common cause. We enjoy each other, and we like the work that we do.
I'm so grateful that every week we get new people coming in here who have discovered a gem. It's basically a gem. And I am so happy when they find it and they go, oh, I will be back next week. And their face lights up, and I know that they will. And yeah, that's a wonderful thing to do when I was teaching. Not too many kids said to me at the end of the day, oh, I can't wait to come back after the weekend. So this is a very new experience for me.
And honestly, the money that we end up donating is almost a byproduct of the cycle, the commitment that people have to this process, to keeping things out of landfills, to holding on to these older items. So yeah, I am amazed, and I am constantly in awe of the work that this place does.
I have a great admiration for the people that work here. They're very unselfish with their time. And I was very happy to lend myself to being president. And with the help of all the volunteers that we have here, we want to move forward and keep, Lenny's legend alive, basically.
No words ever truer. As you can see, Lenny's legacy of giving and volunteerism will continue. His presence will be sorely missed by his extended family, but his love and spirit will always be a part of those who work here. This building will stand as a testament to his memory and to his work for decades to come. I'd like to thank the volunteers of the Thrift Barns in Morris County for their cooperation in this production. I'd also like to thank David Blinder for our amazing aerial drone footage and Ruth Kimball for that great video with Lenny. And as always, a shout out to my camera operator, the extraordinary Jeff Millington. The Book Barn and the Bargain Barn are open Wednesdays and Thursdays 9 to 5 and Saturdays 9 to 1, but just check the website just to make sure there haven't been any changes. Donations are accepted only when the Thrift Barn is open. Do not leave any donations outside the building when it's closed, as they could be destroyed due to inclement weather. And the Thrift Barn and the Bargain Barn are also in current need of volunteers, so stop on in and learn how you can help out. You can explore more about the Book Barn in the links in the description below. And please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and stay on top of all that's Denville. As always, thank you for watching. I'm Dana Foreman for Denville Community Media, and I hope to see you around town.